guys, it's Princess. Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a while, but I promise I'm going to have a video coming soon explaining why. But back to this video, my sister is going to senior prom and I filmed myself doing her makeup. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I got this look, keep watching. Alright, so we're starting off with the bare face. She's already moisturized her face. Now I'm going to move on to doing her eyebrows. I'm using my ColourPop black and brown eyebrow pencil, and I'm just lightly filling in her brows and making a natural look, but just making them more defined. And as I apply product, I go back and forth between the spoolie end and the actual product just to make sure that I blend everything out and there are no harsh lines or just anything too dark. Now I am setting them in place using a clear eyebrow gel by e.l.f. This is just going to keep everything in place all night and they're not going to be moving all around and sticking up in weird places. And after that, I'm going to go on and carve them out using a cream concealer. This is just going to act as a highlight for her brow bone, also cleaning up any mistakes and just making everything look more crisp and defined. And I'm going to blend that out using my finger. Brows are done. Now moving on to priming her eyelids. For eyeshadow, I'm using an eyeshadow primer and I'm going to blend that out with my finger and set it in place using my translucent air spun powder. And now I'm moving into a transition shade. I'm using my Black Radiance face powder in Golden Cashew. And I'm applying that using a fluffy blending brush by Morphe brushes. This is just going to make sure that the other eyeshadows blend seamlessly. Now I'm going in with a darker brown eyeshadow from my Morphe 35W palette, and I'm using another blending brush just to apply that into the crease and the inner and outer corners, blending that with the transition shade. Now I'm going in with an even darker brown eyeshadow from the same palette, and I'm using a smaller detail brush to intensify the inner and outer corners and also connect that shadow into the crease. And I'm doing a spotlight shadow look, so I want the inner and outer corners to be dark, and I'm going to do a pop of color on the inner corner. Now I'm taking the Urban Decay Naked One palette and I'm going into the golden shadow called Half Baked, and I'm applying water to my brush and using that shadow on the center of the eyelids. And I'm going back and forth with that shadow and water to make everything pop, and then I'm going to take my fingers to pack on even more eyeshadow. Now I'm applying that same brown shadow that I used to intensify the inner and outer corners. I'm just cleaning up any mistakes and going in with that first blending brush just to blend everything out one more time, and I'm highlighting her brow bone using that same gold shade. And now I'm using a cream eyeliner by L'Oreal and a small liner brush by Real Techniques, and I finished that off camera. Then I applied the Ardell Wispy eyelashes, and then I went in with my Absolute New York Primer Ultra Smoothing Makeup Primer, and this just helped fill in her pores and smooth out her skin so that I have a nice base. Now I'm going in with color correcting using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the orange corrector, and this is just going to cancel out any of the darkness on her face or discoloration. So I'm applying that using a concealer brush and I'm patting that into place. I'm not swiping it because I want to keep the intensity. And now I'm setting that into place using that same airspun translucent powder that I used to set her eyeshadow primer. This is just going to make sure that that corrector doesn't move around when I go in with concealer. And now I'm applying the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. I'm applying that everywhere where I color corrected. This is just going to allow me to use less foundation. And I'm just packing that on and lightly blending it out, not swiping it because I want to keep the most pigmentation. And now as you can see, this covered up all of those dark spots. Now I'm going in with foundation. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer in the shade 09 Tan. I'm applying that with that same foundation brush, and then I'm using my Real Techniques complexion sponge to blend everything out and make it look airbrushed, and this is going to prevent from having caked on foundation and everything. And as you can see, with prepping her skin and color correcting first, I have a nice even canvas. Now I'm going in with contouring using the Black Opal True Color foundation stick in the shade Suede Mocha. I'm just applying this to the perimeter of her face and also the hollows of her cheeks just to give me some color and contour. And I'm blending that out using the same complexion sponge by Real Techniques. And right on top of that, I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Beautiful Bronze just to bronze up her skin a little bit more. And make sure that you blend because that's going to make everything look seamless. And I also applied a little bit onto her nose, and I'm going to blend that out using my finger and a brush. Now you can see everything is seamless. Now I'm going in with highlighting using an LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Yellow Corrector. And I'm working in sections because I don't want the product to dry out or be difficult to blend. I'm first applying it with a concealer brush, and then I'm going in with that same sponge to blend that out. And immediately after that, I'm going to set it in place using my Ben Nye Banana Powder. And I'm not baking because, again, I don't want anything to look cakey. I'm just making sure that I press that powder into her skin. And now I'm moving on to highlighting her nose, her chin, her cupid's bow, and the center of her forehead. And I'm setting all of those areas, again, using that Ben Nye Banana Powder. And it may look a bit bright on camera, but I have to work on my camera settings because it's not that bright at all in person. And I'm dusting away any of the excess powder using a blending brush and a powder brush. And now I'm going back in and touching up the eyeshadow. I also touched up the wing eyeliner off camera because a little powder did get on there. Now I am setting her contour using the Black Radiance face powder in Rich Mahogany. And as you can see, this just gives more color to her face and just bronzes everything up. Now I am highlighting using the Milani Tantastic Face and Body Baked Bronzer in the shade Fantastic in Gold 01. And I'm using a small fan brush from Morphe brushes to apply this. I also sprayed the brush with a little bit of water to intensify the highlight. And now I'm going in underneath her lower lash line with those same brown shades that I applied on her crease. I set everything using my Maybelline New York Master Fix Wear Boosting Setting Spray just to lock everything in place so that her foundation and stuff doesn't move throughout the night. And I'm using that same highlighter in her inner corners. Now I'm going in with a dark brown lip liner by NYX, and I'm lining her lips and blending that out using a Q-tip. Now I'm going in with Avenue Ultra Matte Lip by ColourPop and going back in and touching up the lip liner, just going back and forth between those two shades and blending them out. And you're going to see in a minute that it looks really rough, but I promise I fixed that off camera. I didn't notice until I was done. Now I'm applying L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara to her top and bottom eyelashes. And that's the finished look. I've added pictures from Prom so you can see her dress and the finished look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and leave me some comments because I like responding to you guys.